For the Illinois News Network, I'm Greg Bishop. The State Board of Education is asking for nearly $500 million more than what the governor proposed in his budget for the coming fiscal year. During a House Appropriations hearing on education funding, the state's school superintendent, Christopher Cook, said that the Illinois State Board of Education is asking for a budget of over $7.5 billion from general funds, an increase of 10% from the previous year. Republican Representative David McSweeney asked a direct question about the proposed increase.
You're proposing a 10% increase of $441 million over the governor's request. How do you propose to pay for it? I mean, as you know, we're in a fiscal crisis. I'm not going to give you that speech. Everybody knows that. It's sitting here. That's the elephant in the room. So how are you proposing to pay for it?
Superintendent Cook didn't answer how to fund the increase, but said the proposal did come below the Education Funding Advisory Board's recommendations.
Far below that. That would be several billion more. But we're trying here to balance with the information, the best information we have about the financial condition of our schools, what's necessary to go forward for this year.
McSweeney said ISBE would get a fairer hearing in the future if they came to the table with a budget that deals with the current fiscal realities. Browner's proposed budget increases general funds for education from the previous year, including an increase in primary and secondary education funding by over $320 million. A state senator who's proposing a revamped formula for state funding of education says increasing funding won't fix the system. State Senator Andy Minar says the changes to his proposal from last year includes a regionalization cost factor considering differences on wage index of particular areas, a change to the low-income calculation, and an adequacy grant that would hold districts harmless if they tax above the state average but spend below the state average per pupil, among other changes. But Minar says simply spending more on education won't solve the problems.
One fact remains that we increased funding for public education in this budget as compared to last fiscal year, but the gap in equity got worse. So to truly get at the root of this problem, it's going to take two steps, and they're two profound steps, and they're difficult, undoubtedly.
Minar says the two steps he believes can help improve education are updating the formula to make it more modern and increase funding over time. As for another measure to address school funding from Senator Jason Barackman, Minar says he hopes to find compromise for both measures to work together. Meanwhile, the Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers, or PARC, standardized test came up. A committee member says the cost of providing the test is upwards to $49 million. State School Superintendent Christopher Cook defended the test, saying that they've talked with other states in the lead up to the eventual rollout here in Illinois.
And I believe it's very important for our students right now to be demonstrating the application of knowledge and skills. That's a new task that they have not done before. They've been doing fill-in-the-bubble multiple choice tests. This is going to very much help their learning and was tied to instruction, and I believe it's good for kids.
Cook says despite the federal government only requiring PARC for 1 year, ISBE plans on using the test for several years to allow the state to show progress at a cost of $5 million a year. Governor Bruce Rauner said last month in Champaign that he wants to investigate the standardized test, saying that it may be politicized. Rauner's office said Tuesday the governor is committed to a thorough evaluation of the PARC and all tests in Illinois schools. A measure to allow the Sandoval School District to issue $2 million in bonds passed the House Tuesday. Speaking with House sponsor